I'd like to speak about the difference between improvising and not improvising. Obviously, like anything, there is a middle ground, there is a gray area. But all in all, reading some other people's music is not improvising. Reading something that was improvised, it's not improvising. It's cheating your way into improvising. First of all, when you publish something, when you post something, should be very clear in the title you're improvising. For example, this guy from Hungary or Romania, he sounds, the name of his family name sounds Romanian. Anyway, didn't write in the title that it was an improvisation. So if I open a video, I should be warned if I'm watching real jazz or I'm watching practice, because reading some other people's improvisation is practice, and it's not very relevant for the viewer. So even it says at the beginning it's written, but okay, so it's clickbait. Oh, you're playing all of me. No, you're reading all of me, you're playing, but you're not improvising. I am interested in real jazz. Otherwise, I would watch the real Scott Hamilton take of all of me. I don't give a fiddler's fart if you're able to read. If you're a classically trained trombone player, surely you can read. Good for you. I can't. I can't read, but I read the key of G, not F. That's a problem of mine, so I never, and I'm not proud of it, but I very rarely upload things. When I upload things, anyway, if I'm doing something at home, it's always not real, and I'll tell you why. Unless you upload a 20 minutes video or a half an hour video where you cannot do it hundreds of times. If you upload a 1.5 minute video, you can practice hundreds of times and just upload best one. It's part of the course. But it's like movies, okay? Theater acting is different from movie acting, because in theater acting you cannot play it again, or because it's real time. Jazz, for the most part, is real time music. That means if you want to succeed, and I'm not a very good jazz player, I try, but I know I'm not good because I have problems, technical problems with the instruments. It's a long story. I don't say, oh, I am very good, so no, I'm not good, but I know jazz. I know that I've been listening to jazz since I was 14-year-old. I was 14. So if you're able to come up with 2 or 3 choruses, not every time 3 choruses, but on average, and you always produce fresh, new ideas, you're a jazzman. If you can play 1 chorus and that, well. But anyway, this chorus should be good for the most part, even if you play 1 time. You cannot play a very bad take of something and expect to practice and record it 20-30 times to come up with the best version of it. Obviously, there's no evidence that the take I uploaded was the result of a long practicing. My idea, you have to practice a lot and come up with good takes, and then not upload them, and then try to uh, be on a level that all the takes are quite good. So you're ready for real life um, playing. So I express my opinion even using strong words, because I don't think it's a good thing that people are exposed to fake jazz. Okay, I know in classical music is completely different. I know that in jazz you can read music, obviously there are arrangements and things, but and if something is written, you never play wrong notes, and you don't, there's no danger. But the beauty of jazz, there's a thin red line between being good and not being good, and that makes jazz interesting, because you never know what is going on, and that produces interest. When you know everything, it's kind of boring. Okay, uh, sometimes classical music is long, so even if always the same, but you know it's long, and you don't really memorize everything by heart, so something can be unexpected even if you heard that before. Okay, but in jazz there is a spirit of jazz. Spirit of a jazz is also taking risks. That doesn't mean playing random, but you always take risks. It's like playing football or soccer, better said. You never know what's going on, and people make mistakes, obviously, when they play. But that's the beauty. If everything would be rehearsed, you wouldn't watch a fake soccer game. It's difficult to make people understand this. Other thing is, I can spot immediately a real jazzman from a newbie. A real jazzman don't use the word cover, use the word standard. A real jazz don't use the word shredding. Okay, cutting. Use other words. If you use these words, obviously your background is not jazz, it's pop, it's rock, it's whatever. It's not jazz. Shredding is rock, is hard rock, is heavy metal. You don't shred when you play jazz. Okay? Shred is a guitar, yes, guitar and bass word. Other thing, the guy told me that he won international competition. I saw the way he played Leo, and it was 120 seconds. Was it bad? No. Was it breathtaking? No. It's medium high, I say. It's good. It's not that international competition winner's level. I know he would have showed me a live video. If you don't have live videos of your career, I don't have any 2 last years, because you know what's going on, what they want us to believe that's going on, better said, and you know what I mean. But and now I don't play live because I'm against showing a pass to play music live. But that's me. But anyway, I played live. There is evidence. Was I good? No, I wasn't that good. I know, because obviously, if you haven't put into a lot of work and you haven't been helped by a professional teacher, everything is difficult, and I know. But I know my level, and even if I'm able to read somebody else's solo, I would never do that. Is it useful at home? Yes. Should you read? It would be better if you can write down or memorize the solo without reading, because you also train your ear. Obviously, I'm not able to write it down for the time being. I'm able to listen to some sentences. I always speak about music, about languages, so I use the word sentence, phrases, and reproduce them. If they're very fast and it's bop, no. I don't play bop. The moment I try to play bop, I would do that. But anyway, Charlie Parker used to memorize Lester Young solos, right? You never hear live Charlie Parker playing note for note somebody else's solo. In spite of our exception, not for Charlie Parker, West End Blues has basically the best singer. Okay, there are things that they became obligato. Everything, their life is not black and white, but generally speaking, Charlie Parker became famous for producing his own music. Surely he has digested Buster Smith, Lester Young, and other players. But the idea that you upload on groups video where you play note for note somebody says a solo and you get good feedback for that is completely fucking wrong. Because many people, I know my experience, many people don't know this. And yes, they don't understand the big difference. Okay? So, in spite, Sam saying, you're full of sorrows. No, I'm not full of sorrows. I like jazz. That's why when I see somebody else's video where somebody tries to improvise and improvises, however much it can, it's not that perfect or it's not on that high level, I appreciate that 10 times more than reading some. And all in all, when you play music, there are two things here in mind. What you learned about scale, chords, arpeggios, and scale that go with a chord, or you have to find the tonal center, because you know on a chord you can play several scales, but you try to play the scales that make sense in that chord succession, chord. I cannot series, whatever. And then you have your instinct. And if you use both, I usually, when I play like the instrumental with valves, whether it's, I use more my chord thing and more scales. When I play the slide, for some reason, because you don't have, I use more my instinct, insight. And sometimes it goes very well, and I play very well, but using insight exposes you also to play very false or badly. Okay? So it's a double-edged sword. All in all, I despise the attitude of people who can play classical music that take the shortcut of reading somebody else's solo. Doesn't make any sense to me. I wouldn't say, oh, it's good. Yeah, no, it's practice. Whatever. But it's not interesting. Unless you make a video where you explain the benefits, and surely there are benefits, in reading solos, but you have to integrate that into your. That's why there are more. Um, there are there is a lot of material with jazz patterns. That is like a phrase, and you transpose in every key, and you can use when you practice. And then you have to connect these phrases in order to make sense. Otherwise, you have and you don't have like a real continuous phrasing. Okay, nowadays there are many problems because many players are not don't tell a story. They make solo in a flamboyant way, but everything is kind of disconnected. It doesn't. It takes some continuity to produce a very good solo. For example, I like Chet Baker, who wasn't a very flamboyant player, or even Miles Davis was like this. If you consider the most appreciated trumpet players, there is a brilliant side of trumpet that are. There is Louis Armstrong. He was kind of Roy Eldridge and Dizzy Gillespie, and there are other players that are very. They play very high and all this. How to put it? Not in a very lyrical way. I personally prefer more rhapsodic, more lyrical way of playing. But I understand that, okay, even playing that high on a trumpet, and you can play that high on a trombone as well, can have its impact. But the moment you play just in order to impress the viewer, that's bad. I don't like it. For example, I'll tell you a story. When I used to watch live performances here in Rome, which is not the homeland of jazz, and I used to watch Dixieland or swing or classical jazz. Everything is kind of not really bop or hard bop or whatever comes after that. I noticed that they came up with some tricks. You play that song in the other song because this passage has the same chords, so it reminds of the other song. And the first time, oh wow! And you always play the same. You mention that other melody. When you play the other melody, always at the same point at the same time is a trick. So I strongly recommend not always using the same tricks. It becomes stale. Other things is that self-complacent. When you play, obviously we have our ego, and in a way we are self-complacent. But all in all, I think that we should keep a check on our ego. So if somebody criticizes you when you uploaded a video, think twice and thrice before answering. Because if people dare me and say you're not good, you're not able to come up with a solo, I don't start a conversation. I upload another video of mine where I can really improvise. Otherwise, say, if I cannot make this person shut up through evidence of the way I'm playing, I should shut the fuck up myself. I'm not winning an argument about the way I play speaking. Obviously, there are other people that can comment, come up and comment. So why insisting? Oh, you're sorry. This is I shouldn't show anything to you. No, the moment you upload something and I post a comment about what you uploaded, either you don't answer or you know that should you are showing something to me. Now I shouldn't show anything to you. The moment you write it, you are writing it. You don't want to show anything to me. Just don't say anything. If you catch my drift. So people who are adamant, who are able to take it, to take even not so positive comments, and they build on that. Because I never said, oh, what you played was wrong. No, I said the idea, the concept was wrong. When he played Olio, okay, it was quite good. But when you watch 2 or 3 times and you say, oh, the first time it seemed so good, and then you listen to that, yeah, I mean, is it, yes, sounds professional, sounds good job, not excellent job. Sorry, I'm not that good, but I know it. I won an international competition. No way. He cannot have. Maybe my idea, if it was in a big band, and the big band won the competition, it can happen. You could play in a football team, and you're not the best player because in 11 players, not everyone is very high, and you won with the help of other people. I can't take that. Okay? Maybe this orchestra was very good, this big band was very good, he played that, and they were very good soloists, he played some solos, but he cannot possibly have won a competition with a combo with 3 or 4 or 5 people, and he was the main horn soloist. He cannot possibly have won that, because I know I saw the channel, you should have a lot of live videos, videos where he play with other people, he plays live. You cannot win a competition with a lot of we call gavetta in Italian, a lot of without having cut your teeth for even several years. Otherwise, it's a minor competition I can take, but not international competition. Okay, I won some in the past, many decades ago, running races. Oh, I won running. Yes, but I won very local running races. Okay, so and another thing, if I have evidence, I don't have evidence obviously with that. At the time there was nothing, there was no internet, there's no, but surely. But if you claim something, you should prove the evidence. You say, oh, I won competition, but I'm not giving you evidence because I don't want to give it to you. Believe you me, if you have evidence of winning a competition, you produce it. Believe you me. That's his ego speaking. Showing off is not a good way to be a good jazzman. It's not a good way in life. I see that a lot for languages. We are in a society, we live in a society in the Western countries where everything, we are divided. So is the word society is, shouldn't we live in a, we should another word for society, because society implies that we social, No, we don't live in a social way, and nowadays even more. And everyone is for themselves. So everybody thinks about, uh, I want to do that. It's me. It's me. It's me. Look, that's a long-winded video. Sorry if I made mistakes in English. I speak English, but I don't speak it on a daily basis because I live in Italy. Um, we in groups we barely post videos of great players. We always post a video of ourselves. That's not good. That's not good, because most of the people who post there are not that good. Because believe you me, if Charlie Parker or Lester Young or Miles Davis or Jack the Garden were alive, they wouldn't need to post on Facebook or YouTube. They don't need it. The best players have other people who post their work on the net. You will never see, how to put it, because obviously I speak, there are exceptions, okay, but generally speaking, they don't do that. And not, or they have their channel, but they don't go on Facebook, on somebody's in groups posting their videos. It doesn't make any sense. Okay? They have other channels. That's my long-winded speech about reading other people's solos and the essence of a jazz, and being honest with ourselves and keeping our ego in check and whatsoever.